Hey, good morning! Yep, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. You're good people! Yeah, remember, you're supposed to be watching Uncle Lou every day like you're supposed to. Yep, it'll lower your cholesterol. Yep, so go ahead and do that. Anyway, top 10 video today. I might do this every week. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, Uncle Lou's top 10 poll. We'll update it every week. Maybe? Yeah, we probably will. Uncle Lou's top 10. Now, this isn't the coach's top 10, the AP top 10, or anyone else's top 10. It's Uncle Lou's top 10. I figure this is the quickest way to piss off the most amount of people in the least amount of time. So, Uncle Lou's top 10. This is my top 10 teams as of today. So, doesn't necessarily think I mean these top 4 teams are making a playoff or whatever. This is how I would rank the teams right now. And yes, this does include last night's games. So anyway, we'll get right to it. But first, check this out. Uncle Lou got a new motorcycle. I'm Rick, Dick. I'm Rick. Dick. Oh. All right, so here we go. Uncle Lou's Week 1 college football top 10 list. We'll start at the bottom with number 10. Number 10, Washington. Now, you know, I almost didn't put Washington even in the top 10 at all. And to be honest with you, I really don't think they're a top 10 team. But they did make the college football playoff last year. And I don't know, I just think that if you made the college football playoff the previous year, you deserve enough respect to at least be put in the top 10. But it's pretty easy to find 9 teams or 10 teams that you think are better than Washington. Of course, they'll probably go undefeated. They don't play anybody at all. Non-conference, I think, is Rutgers, Fresno State, and Montana or something. And then a cupcake Pac-12 schedule. They will lose the Pac-12 championship game even if they make it there to Southern Cal, though. So no worries there. They're not repeating. They're not making the college football playoff again this year. So, I mean, you don't have to worry about that. I think they do play Stanford in the regular season. That's really their only tough game. So anyway, Washington coming in at number 10. Number 9, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma probably is a top 10 team this year, and I think number 9 is probably about right for them right now. Look, they replaced head coach. I know Lincoln Riley's been there for a while, and the Oklahoma fans aren't expecting to have much of a drop-off. You know, having Baker Mayfield, who seems like he's been in college forever, at quarterback does help, I think, the transition from Stoops to Lincoln Riley. And he's legit. He's a legitimate quarterback, a Heisman candidate this year, Heisman hopeful. He's in pretty much everybody's top 5 Heisman lists this preseason anyway. So I think Oklahoma will have a pretty good year. They got a tough game at Ohio State and some tough conference games, Texas, Oklahoma State. So we'll see how they do, but I think 9 right now is pretty fair for Oklahoma. Number 8, Ohio State. Now, of course, this is after last night's game, so Ohio State 1-0. I was not impressed with what I saw in the first half of that Ohio State game. Now, I know there's a lot of things you could chalk that up to. First game jitters, playing on the road at night, prime time. I get all that. I just wasn't all that impressed, and I do not think Indiana is a very good team. They basically, the first half of that game when Indiana was winning at halftime 14-13, basically all they were doing was throwing the same couple of passes over and over again. They have a couple of really tall wide receivers. Ohio State was replacing some defensive backs from last year. And Indiana was able to keep it a good game for a half. But I don't think Indiana's a very good team. And that leads me to believe that Ohio State might not be as good as maybe we thought they were going to be. So had I done this list before last night's game, Ohio State probably would have been a little bit higher on this list. but not today. They are sitting at 1-0, but currently ranked number 8 in the UNCLELOU poll. Yep. Okay, number 7, Oklahoma State. Now, Oklahoma State, another legit team, and I do think they're better overall than Oklahoma. Now, we'll see towards the end of the year if I'm right or wrong about that. But in my preseason Big 12 preview, I'm pretty sure I picked Oklahoma State to win the Big 12 this year. Yeah, I know I did. I don't think Oklahoma State is going to go undefeated. I think there's a group of 3, 4, 5 teams in the Big 12 that are kind of lumped together, and I think some of those teams are going to catch some losses to some of those other teams, but I think Oklahoma State makes the Big 12 title game at least, and I did predict them to win it, and I have them right now at number 7. They played last night, too, and beat the brakes off of somebody by about 50 points. All right, bringing us to number 6, Clemson. Clemson kind of hard to figure out this year. They have recruited really, really well. I do think Dabo Swinney's a pretty good coach, really good coach, actually. If you've watched my preseason videos I've been doing, then you know I just think that replacing Deshaun Watson is going to keep them from being elite this year. No matter how good of a quarterback they find to put in there, no matter who it is that replaces Deshaun Watson, he's not going to give you what Deshaun Watson gave you last year. I just don't see it happening. I think 6 is a pretty fair ranking for Clemson. Clemson has a lot of NFL talent. It's not like they're going to fall off the radar or anything like that, losing Watson. But I do think they take a step back this year. Now, when you win a national title, taking a step back is not it's not the end of the world. You can go rank from number 1 in America to I have you at number 6. So don't take it as an insult. That's where I have you now. You'll get a chance to prove me wrong when you play Florida State this year. We'll see. Number 5, I have Wisconsin. Wisconsin's in the easier of the 2 divisions in the Big Ten. There's no reason they shouldn't make the Big Ten title game. I have them ranked 5th right now, and they're a pretty good team. Nothing flashy about Wisconsin. Unless you're a Wisconsin fan, you probably can't name more than 1 or 2 players on the Wisconsin team right now. But they're overall, I think they're a pretty good team. Would I be shocked if they won the Big Ten? No. I'm not expecting it. I think whoever comes out of the other division will win the Big Ten, probably Ohio State or Penn State. I guess I would. I think I picked Ohio State to win the Big Ten in my preseason videos. After last night, I'm not so sure. Too late to change it now, though. I already made the prediction. But we'll see. Wisconsin coming in at number 5. That brings us to the top 4 teams. Now, these, like I said in the beginning, these are not necessarily the 4 teams that I think will make the playoff, although it's possible. These are the 4 teams I think are the best 4 teams in America right now today. Number 4, Florida State. I think they won 9 or 10 games last year, 10 I think it was. Lost to Clemson, got drubbed by Louisville, lost to North Carolina, which is sort of a head-scratcher, but they've got a quarterback back in Francois. Jimbo Fisher, has been consistently good since he got to Florida State, winning 9, 10 games a year or more. Of course, the 1 national title with Jameis Winston and a trip to the playoff with Jameis Winston. They lost the first-round game that year to Oregon. But anyway, until I see otherwise, I don't expect Florida State to fall off the map. I expect them to remain a top 10 team for the immediate future anyway. And right now I have them at number 4. And that is the team I had pegged to win the ACC this year, so we'll see how that works out. That brings us to number 3, Penn State. I'm a believer in Penn State. I think they deserved a shot at the playoff last year instead of Ohio State. I understand they had a couple of head-scratching losses in the regular season, but it was clear to Uncle Lou that Penn State was a better team than Ohio State at the end of last year. That was clear to me. The playoff committee, I think, screwed it up by allowing a team in that didn't even play in its conference championship game. That just opens up a whole can of worms for years in the future, starting this year, for an SEC team or an ACC team or somebody like that doesn't make their conference championship game to then have an argument to be included in the 4-team playoff. So we'll see if that decision from the playoff committee last year comes back to bite them this year with some controversy. We'll see. But I'm a believer in Penn State. I like their quarterback. They have a really good head coach. I mean, anybody that can win 10 games at Vanderbilt knows what they're doing. I like Franklin. I think he's a good coach, and he's got them up into the elite category, in my opinion. Penn State, number 3. Number 2 on the list, Southern Cal. Another team that I think is loaded and ready for a breakout year. They won, I think, their last 9 games last year after starting off slow, switched to Sam Darnold, quarterback change. They put him in about a quarter of a way through the season last year and never looked back. He's pretty much everyone's favorite to win the Heisman this year. The guy's an NFL quarterback in waiting. It's just a matter of time. This will probably be his last year at Southern Cal, if I had to guess. He redshirted, played last year, played this year, so that's his 3 years out from high school. So he's eligible, even though he's a sophomore, he's eligible for the draft this year, redshirt sophomore. Southern Cal, loaded on offense. Defense, they need to make a little bit of improvement there. I think they will. The Pac-12 is down. It's weak. Stanford, is probably the second or third best team in the Pac-12, and I'm not real sure how many people Stanford is scaring at this point. I do think Southern Cal meets Washington in the Pac-12 title game, and as of right now, I'd have Southern Cal winning that game and probably making the playoff. We'll see how that goes, but they're at number 2. And, of course, number 1, no surprise here. At least it shouldn't be. University of Georgia. Now, I'm just kidding. Don't click off the video. I'm kidding. Idiots. Y'all thought I had put Georgia number 1? No. Alabama number 1, of course. As long as Nick Saban is there, Alabama's going to be the odds-on favorite to win it every single year. Nick Saban at Alabama is sort of like Tiger Woods in his prime. You can either bet on Alabama to win it or take the field. People were doing that with Tiger Woods. You could pretty much get even money, Tiger Woods or everyone else. You can pretty much do the same thing with Bama now. Bama or everyone else. Until Saban leaves, I don't see that changing. There's no reason they shouldn't be number 1. You can make an argument for 2 or 3 other teams to be number 1. I get it. And that doesn't make you wrong or me right or you right or whatever. I mean, these are meaningless polls. It's preseason. Only a couple of these teams have even played. So, but anyway, for right now, I've got to put Alabama number 1. Jalen Hurts, reigning SEC Offensive Player of the Year, SEC Rookie of the Year. He needs to improve his passing a little bit, in my opinion, if they want to win another national title. Alabama replacing a ton on defense, particularly the front 7. Of course, seems like they're doing that every year. They never skip a beat, so we'll see. But right now, I have Alabama listed as the number 1 team. Week 1, Uncle Lou's College Football Top 10. That's it. There it is. Complain down below. Let me know where I was wrong. Let me know which teams are ranked too high, which teams are ranked too low, which teams I left out of the top 10 that should be in there. Just let me know. I did 3 preview videos this week: Georgia, App State, Florida, and Michigan, Georgia Tech, and Tennessee. You can click, how about over here? You want to click over here? Where is it? Right there. Click right there to watch those. Click right here to subscribe, and have a great day and a good morning.